Nobody thinks about, let's say, what expensive at the end of the day labor is. And I think that a lot of people, if we really look down and sit on a chair and watch the cleaning process, we see a lot of waste. Change the way you think about cleaning is our other line in our industry. We say it pays, it doesn't cost. But people think it costs and it doesn't pay. Waste you see in walking backwards and forwards. And we like to reduce the waste, but not everybody recognize the importance of the cleaner. And we like to bring them back to importance. We like to state in cobots, and let's say, so it means that you are cooperating with a machine. So that's why we want to use the intelligence and the scan of the eye of the operator, and having what I call larger production work done by an automatic machine. Can we not make it more simple? Can we not make it, let's say, as we call it in our language now, faster, cleaner, greener, safer, and better?
Innovation in our cleaning processes has become one of the key ways that facilities teams increase efficiencies and provide a better quality of clean. This week, it's a privilege to be joined by Frank Van De Ven, CEO of Hygiene Global. His experience in the cleaning industry far exceeds many, with a critical understanding of how the industry has changed over the last decade and the key elements facilities teams need to embrace to be able to succeed with the cleaning expectations of a post-pandemic world. So let's not delay. I'm Jasper McEwen, and this is the Healthy Facilities Review.
Frank, it's a pleasure to be here today at Hygiene Global HQ. And one of the things that we've been working with Hygiene for 2 or 3 years now, and there's 3 core values that spring to mind when we think of Hygiene: inquire, innovate, and inspire. Tell us a little bit more about the background to those 3 fundamental values for Hygiene.
Yeah, it's always, as a company, you're always looking, okay, where can I make the difference, and how can I make the difference? But we think, let's say, we can make the difference by listening. So that's why it starts with inquiring, let's say. So listen to, and then listening doesn't help anybody if we don't do anything, act and react on it. So that's why we have the innovation part behind it, and we like to do that with passion and energy. That's why, let's say, we have the inspire. Reason for that is, I think that we have seen that in the cleaning industry, the change, let's say, is a difficult one to get implemented, and that's why we said, okay, change the way you think about cleaning is our other line in our industry. Yeah. And we have seen that this business is pretty traditional, let's say, organized, and we think that by listening and working together, let's say, we are able to make a difference in the total behavior of people. Behavior is a very difficult thing to get changed, and certainly in the cleaning industry.
Yeah, no, it's interesting what you say about inquiring. It's 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we listen more than we talk, and we gather that understanding of how the market operates so that we can then innovate and inspire people as well. So that's great. And why is innovation so important? It's important in every industry, isn't it? But why is it important in the cleaning industry?
Yeah, it's important in the cleaning industry because we think that bringing back joy and proud to cleaning is I would say the main driver for us. And we call this to create happy eye users. And the happy eye user we only can create if we think about who are they and how are they doing their things. And we think that by making them part of the total environment, let's say, is a better way of doing it. So, for example, let people do their cleaning job standing up. Because if they are standing up, they can look around and they can be part of the environment. And if they're part of the environment, people will say hello to them. If you would be laying on your knees down on the ground, nobody's saying hello to you. No. So that's why we think bringing back joy in cleaning, make it adaptable for everybody. Let's say people which are maybe handicapped, people which are older, people which are younger. So all these generations together, let's say you need to give good tools and good machines to them, that they are able to be part of it and have fun with what they do.
No, absolutely. And you mentioned previously that the cleaning industry is quite a traditional industry and the need for innovation is important. But what are the main challenges that you see about bringing innovation to a market like that?
I would say adaptation is one of the things, but I would think most of it is that people think that if you would say to him, this is costing £500, or this is costing £1,000, people think, oh, this is expensive. But nobody thinks about, let's say, what expensive at the end of the day labor is if you add this up for hours, if you add this up for weeks, if you add this up for months, if you add this up for years. And the whole this calculation seems to be, let's say, not directly related to what they call investments, and this is the main, I would say, difficulty. We say it pays, it doesn't cost, but people think it costs and it doesn't pay. And to make this change, let's say that's the most what I call challenging job where we have.
Absolutely, because in the cleaning industry, there's a lot of hidden costs, isn't there? Like you say, labour and such like. And I think the key point there as well that you mentioned previously about happy eye users, that's ultimately what we're trying to do, isn't it? I've met a lot of companies, a lot of cleaning operatives that have spent hours, for example, mopping a floor to see no better end result. Well, that is to send someone home at the end of the day with that kind of feeling isn't great, is it? And that's where the iMop comes in to transform floors, for example, to make it a satisfying job for both the operative and the occupants of that building.
Yeah, but I think also one of the aspects there where we need to bring back again is what we say joy. Just what are they doing and what are they using? And secondly, let's say, which we're not addressing, but is what we call environmental aspects. And environmental aspects is the use of water, use of chemicals or non-chemicals or green liquids and all of this kind of stuff. So in the innovation, it's not only one thing, it's a series, multiple things which you need to do together when looking at it.
Yeah.
You can make a very good machine, but if you need 20 jerry cans of water, let's say, then it's maybe not so a good thing to have, let's say, because then people need to walk back and forth to get what we call the water source. And in the water source, they need to put in some liquid. So at the end, we look at the whole chain of the process. And I think that a lot of people, if we really look down and sit on a chair and watch the cleaning process, we see a lot of waste. And waste you see in walking backwards and forwards. And we like to reduce the waste, because the waste, nobody's getting harmed if you cut out the waste.
Absolutely.
And if you cut out the waste, there is already a resource there for paying, because the waste is gone, let's say,
Absolutely.
or half gone, or three quarters gone. So this is the process we are looking at with all the innovations we are doing. Let's say we're looking at, can we not make it more simple? Can we not make it, let's say, as we call it in our language now, faster, cleaner, greener, safer, and better?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's one of the things that one of the key areas we've seen with iTeam and their innovation. It's not always necessarily about a new product. It's about making improvements to a product as well. So we're not just looking at a process and putting something in place for that one job. It's constant improvement thereafter, isn't it? And cutting out that waste, as you say.
Yeah, and keep in mind for whom we are doing it. Again, let's say that's why maybe the better is at the end of this row of what we call icons, because we like to have a smile on the face when they are doing the job. And because that's where I think we can find, let's say, the cleaner back in, re-energize them and re-energize the cleaner. And that is where our bigger aim is in life. Can we not give them another what we call plateau? Can we not make them more important? And as they are, and they are important, but not everybody recognize the importance of the cleaner, and we like to bring them back to importance.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And looking further ahead into the cleaning industry, what kind of innovations do you feel that potentially will be coming up in the foreseeable short, medium term in the cleaning industry?
Yeah, as you can see in the trend, if you go to exhibitions, if you look at the LinkedIn messages, if you look at other social media, then you see for sure that the whole robotization, let's say, is part of the industry. We like to stay in cobots, and let's say, so it means that you are cooperating with a machine, and the machine is more or less, let's say, automatic or semi-automatic, and we think that the operator still will be far ahead of most of the intelligence of robots. So that's why we want to use the intelligence and the scan of the eye of the operator, and having what I call larger production work done by an automatic machine. And that's why we call this cobots. And we think that the new trend is cobots. That's what we think. And at the end, still for large surfaces, you already see the trend coming. For small surfaces, it's not yet there because buildings are not really made to get open doors, closed doors, all of this kind of stuff.
Yes.
So a kind of machine will be locked in a room. So we think that in small spaces you should go by more simple, let's say, robots like Cobalt 1700. Let's say the vacuum cleaner robot is one of them. Let's say which you can afford yourself, that the thing is locked up in the room because it's not too much in expense. And if you then, let's say, organize the work, let's say, you know which ones you can pick up, which have done the job because you can see it, for example, on your phone. So we believe more in that trend, as that we believe in high investments in robots.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. I think the key part there is that co-worker, cobotic type scenario, isn't it? Because ultimately, hard floors and soft carpets often are the largest footprint, aren't they, in a building to clean, and vacuuming them by hand is a long task, isn't it? If we can bring a cobot in to do that whilst the operative can be getting on with something else, then all of a sudden the labour time is cut down massively, isn't it? It's about reducing the waste again, like you said earlier.
Exactly. And I think there it comes in play that we are now, let's say, you're talking about floors, we call this one dimension, and we are up into the 4 dimensions plus cleaning. And then if I would do one of my tasks, let's say by automatic, then I can move on to the second task, which is the 2D, which is the furniture in the room and the desks or counters or all that. But also the third one is there, it's the walls and the ceiling. And, so those 2 other ones I can do in the time that my friend is doing, let's say, the floors for me. Yeah. So we're looking more or less in this kind of a way of thinking. So the other one is multitasking, I would say, into a room, let's say, looking at the same moment, can I not do the interior of the room, let's say, it means the chairs, the furniture, the tables, and all of this kind of things.
Yeah. No, that's brilliant. It's been really good to catch up for a few minutes, Frank. Thank you very much for your time. We're looking forward to a couple of days at iTeam over the next.
Yes, and we'd like to have you here as now in your new position as iMember, and this is what we really are about. We are a family, and the family wants to have members, and this is what we are driving it for. So on one hand, for the happy users, and the other hand, doing this together with members.
Brilliant. Good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.